Hey everybody, my name is Toby. Welcome to my new channel, Tales from the Treadmill. Here we talk about my past addiction issues, the road to recovery, and now the light that I've found in sobriety. I'm going on 3 years right now sober, and life just couldn't be better, honestly. Happy Friday. I want to give a shout out to my buddy Bear Claw today. I woke up to some really amazing news from him. This is his day, 20 years sober today. Bro, I mean, that is amazing. And I have to say that, all of these years that I've been wanting, since like 2013, I started the journey, the road to recovery, the trying to get sober. And throughout the years, I would see these posts from Bear Claw, and they were so inspiring. And I was always like, God, I really want to get there. How do I get there? And, it took, like I said, 7 years to make it happen. But I just want to say congratulations, Bear Claw. That is a huge accomplishment, and I hope that, I can't wait until I can make that same post 17 years from now. It's going to be an amazing day, and I'm just so happy for you, man. So I'm, hoping that maybe one of these days this will turn into a podcast. I'm thinking that's what I'm going to do, and maybe I can have Bear Claw on, and he could share some stories with us about his journey to sobriety and what that looked like. I think it's so interesting, the different stories that we all have that, led us to this. And, and also, if you're in it right now and you're struggling, please do not hesitate to just comment below or reach out to me, email me, or message me on here or on my Facebook page. I would love to talk to you and try to help you guys out in any way I possibly can. So, if you're a new subscriber, please click the like button on my videos and subscribe to the channel if you want to hang out and are just curious about this at all. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much again for being here. So I wanted to start this out today by talking about regrets, okay? People, that whole no regrets thing has been around for a very long time. I think it was even on shirts for a while, like no regrets, no regrets. My whole thing is this. I don't believe in that. I don't subscribe to that. I think that if you don't have regrets, you probably haven't lived long enough. Because, regrets are just mistakes that we made that we're ashamed of. And I think, it's like that tattoo, the no regrets, no regrets, like R-A-G-R. You're going to regret that. There's no way around it. But the way I look at regrets is this. There's a lot of things that I look back on in my life and I regret and I wish I wouldn't have done. And I know that people say, well, you wouldn't be the person you are today. And that's true. I would probably be something different. Or maybe I'd be better. Who knows? But the thing about it is, the way I look at regrets is I face them, I acknowledge them, and I use them, okay? I use them to push me to become better, to never make those mistakes again, and to become a better person and a better version of myself. Don't let the regrets eat you up inside. The way that I deal with them is I acknowledge them and I release them because I'm a better version of who I am now, but I also use them to push myself to be that better person. So I just wanted to get that out there because that video that I made yesterday, I did think, man, there's just a lot of things back in the times, especially in my alcoholism, well, all of it, that I do regret. I regret doing. I wish I would have been more present there for my mom in the last several years of her life. I just, I was there and I lived with them and helped them. Helped her through stuff, but I just, I was also drinking heavily and doing those kind of things. And so, I just wish that I would have been more present like I am now, because now I know what it feels like, and I know that I have control over my life, and I don't, I'm behind the wheel now. You know what I mean? It's such a good feeling to know that I'm the one driving the car, and not anything else. So anyway, I'm going to get back into where we left off yesterday. I'm going to go into the 2014 to 2017 area. A lot of really cool stuff happened during this period of time. But so after my mom passed and I made the decision I wanted to try and get sober, I would start off, really good. I'd go 6 or 8 months. Something traumatic would happen, whether it was somebody passing or, I injured myself. I mean, like I'm in my 40s at that point, and my body started going, hey, what are you doing? No stretching before working out. Stupid. You should always do that. But I would hurt my knee and working out, or I pull, tore a TCL muscle in my knee, and could barely walk for like 6 months, and didn't have the money to go to the doctor or anything. So I just limped around, and instead of continuing to like try and work out and just slow everything down and try to rehab it, I just fell off the wagon and started just drinking and going, well, I can't do anything right now. And that's a terrible attitude. I should have handled that in a different way. But I fell backwards, lots of backsliding. The most backsliding that I ever did was trying to quit alcohol. I mean, I would quit and think, that's it, I'm done. And then, like I said, something traumatic would happen. And my pattern was to fall backwards when that kind of stuff would happen. So anyway, that's what's going on during these periods, 2014, 2017, and even 2017 to when I quit at the end of 2019. But I'll get into that in the next video. So 2014, an amazing thing happened. I took April to Los Angeles and the guys for her birthday, and because she's a huge Doors fan, and I just told her we were going to go and do a big Doors tour and go to all the places that Jim Morrison hung out and the band hung out and visit all these things. We did that. We went to the hotel that he stayed in, and we went to Venice Beach, and there's a huge mural of Jim Morrison there, and so that's what we were there for, because her birthday is in May, and this was the beginning of June, right? So and of course, my whole thing was I was proposing, and I took her to Venice Beach, and we had been drinking that morning, and we got stuck in traffic, and it was a crazy day, but nevertheless, she said yes. My good buddy Justin Andres was there, secretly, she didn't know that he was my friend. She thought he was just some random person on the beach with a buddy of his, and he videotaped the whole thing, and it's amazing. One of the best days of my life, if not the best day of my life, when my wife said yes. April said yes to me, and it was an awesome time. But and we hung out, and then we came back home, and we're engaged. And so 2014, we moved in together. We're living together. I'm working at the bar still. And again, let's talk about environment, okay? The environment that you put yourself in, if you're an addict or if you're struggling with trying to quit doing something, maybe don't put yourself in that environment where the actual thing you're trying to stop doing is at a full supply, right at your fingertips. The thing about it is, the environment you put yourself in, and even the people you hang around. There's a lot of toxic people in this world and we all have some level of toxicity. It's, do you realize it, and do you try to fix it? Or do you just think that you're cool and you never do anything wrong? Because there's a lot of people, and I'm going to get into that later on in some other videos, talking about some narcissism and some toxic people. Because once I started to get sober, I realized, man, that's a toxic behavior of mine that I needed to fix. But it makes you realize who all is toxic in your life as well. So I'm going to get into that in another video. But anyhow, so during this period of time, I kept backsliding, but I'm in the bar. And the thing about it is that, I'm the kind of person, I think people really enjoy getting me wasted, and listen, again, this is no one else's fault, because I'm the one that's sitting here taking the drinks, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the one that's doing it, but people love to, be drunk with me, because I guess I'm a pretty funny guy, in those moments, from what I've heard. So I can also be a nightmare, also what I know about that. So, which we'll talk about that later on too. But what I want to say is, the backsliding in those environments, right? Just being in that bar environment, I would stop drinking, and I would be serving. I would just tell people, hey, I don't drink anymore. That was one trick that I tried to say, look, I don't drink anymore. And people would look at me like, what? Why? The one thing about alcohol is it's the only drug out there that people, when you say, oh, I don't drink, they go, why? What's wrong with you? Nobody says, wait, you don't do coke anymore? Why? What's wrong with you? Or you don't, do this or that. Alcohol is the only one where people think you're weird because you stopped drinking. It's hilarious, because it's just such a normalized thing. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, 2015 rolls around, and another addiction of mine is food. I'm a huge foodie. I love food. I love to try different food. I watch the Food Network. I watch recipe shows. I watch the baking shows. And I love to cook in the kitchen too, but I love to eat, and I love to try different things. I have no, there's no like, oh, I don't know about that. I will try anything once at least. But so let's start at the beginning of 2015. I had ballooned up to about 245, I want to say. 243, 245. That's the most I've ever weighed. To give you a gauge, right now I'm 215, and I'm trying to get back down to 200. So yeah, I'm probably going to use as my thumbnail today the picture of that shot, because we were in Florida, and there's pictures of me from Florida in January of 2015 to when, so a few months later, in March or so, April, May, somewhere in there, Jibe decides to get back together to do a reunion show. And it hit me. I was like, man, I got to get in shape. We got back together, we played, we sounded amazing in the room, like after 11 years of not playing with each other. We got together, it was like not a day had passed, because the chemistry between them, musically and everything was still there, of course. So we decided to do a reunion show, and I immediately was like, oh my, that was in June that we decided to do that. Or no, that was in May, May or June that we decided to do that we got together. And we decided to book it at Gas Monkey, and that was in September 25th of 2015. So I'll never forget, in May, it was like around the 20th or 24th, around April's birthday, Labor Day, I think, or Memorial Day, one of those, whichever one is there. I'm drawing a blank right now. I got on the scale, and I weighed 243 pounds, and I was like, I can't do this. I gotta lose some weight. So I started hitting the gym. I wasn't drinking. I had stopped drinking there at the beginning of January too. Other reasons, but so I'm working out like 5 or 6 days a week. I'm running sprints like an hour a day. I'm watching my diet. And the funny thing is, you can do anything you want to put your mind to. Your mind is so powerful. I mean, I lost 43 pounds or 45 pounds. By the time we played the show, I weighed 200 pounds. So in just a few months, I dropped 40-something pounds, right? So anything you put your mind to, you can do it. The problem here is, and this is also the environment, as soon as the band started playing, getting back together, even the night that we played, I think I had one shot when we played, because I was working out and I was thinking, man, this is how I'm going to stay. I'm going to keep working out. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to stay sober. And I really gave it a go, right? So we played that show. It was an amazing show. All of the people that didn't get to see us back in the day when someone quit and didn't give them a final show, they got to see us again. Like the way it left in 2004, there was no final show. The singer just bolted out of nowhere and left all of us behind. The fans, the band, the life that we had created, it was gone, right? So that was that show on September 25th. For me, it was like a redemption thing for our fans. That's why we did a free show, because ultimately the fans are the ones that got screwed over the worst, I think, back in 2004. Because, they had been supporting us for over a decade. A lot of the people. And then we're just gone like a poof, thin air, you know what I'm saying? So that show was amazing in 2015, September. We decided, because I have so much music in me that I'm writing and that I'm always writing, let's do a new record. So we started to do that, right? We started to record with Matt Noveski from Blocktober in Austin at Orb Studios, an amazing studio, right? Well, so once we're back together and we're doing these things and we're around each other again, I start falling backwards into those old trappings that were going on when Jibe was together in the first place. And that's my fault. But I wasn't doing it consciously. It was as if it was just a pattern that I had existed before, and then now that it's back, I just went right back into it. It's kind of like when you haven't seen a friend in, a few years, and y'all just get back together, and it's like a day hadn't passed. That's kind of what was going on with this situation. And so I fell back into those same trappings. I was drinking. I was interspersely doing other things that, nothing as crazy as what it got, but there was stupid things that I was doing, bits of here and there. Nothing, like I said, for the most part, the drugs ended in 2009. There was a couple of things during those times, not even worth mentioning, really. It was the alcohol because the alcohol, again, was what was leading me to anything that I did. Because the alcohol is just so easy to get into. So, anyway, that show is over, right? 2 weeks after the show, I'm going to continue running at the gym. I'm going to do sprints. I'm going to keep going to get in better shape. So I'm on the treadmill, I'm running. I didn't stretch, of course, my dumb ass. Made another mistake. I didn't stretch. I'm barely jogging, I think, getting ready to start, and my right leg just pops. Something pops, and I'm like, I could barely walk. It took me to my knees. It ends up, that's your hamstring. I had heard of those injuries watching football. You know, I'm a big football fan, big Dallas Cowboys fan, and I'm watching football. I always saw that somebody's got a hamstring injury. I didn't know what that meant, right? But the hamstring, it sucks. It hurts. It is terrible. I could barely walk there for a while, and again, no insurance. I couldn't go to the doctor. I just wrapped that bad boy up, and the problem was that's those moments where I made the bad decision. Instead of just kind of trying to work it out and keep going, I kind of fell back and started backsliding into drinking again, because I was trying to quit. You know, I was in a moment of hadn't drank in months. And there it goes again. That's my pattern. So watch out for those patterns, because that's what it is, that you got to get yourself out of that cycle. You know what I'm saying? So we move into 2016, and one of the, if not the greatest moment, one of the greatest moments, other than the birth of my daughter, my wedding day with April. We got married on October 29th. Of 2016, and it was such a stressful period of time. You know, I was definitely trying to not drink, but I was drinking. But it was so stressful the way that everything happened. We are so fortunate and grateful that we had the wedding that we did, but there was a lot of chaos that came along with it. And you know what? A lot of it is because of what, you know, people that I allowed back into my life that I shouldn't have. I mean, things that happened. I don't want to go too much into this, but I mean, you know, there's, looking back, your hindsight is always 20/20. There's definitely some things I would have done different there. People that I probably just wouldn't even have, you know, asked to come, or we may have just, you know, the thing that we're happy about is that we did have our families together. And we've got some really great video and pictures of that. But also a bunch of our pictures are ruined because of a certain person. So anyway, but nevertheless, it's still one of the greatest days, if not the greatest, of my life, getting to marry my best friend. And she's such a rock. She has been there for me through thick and thin, man. I mean, I can't even begin to, I get a little, okay, so I'm going to stop doing that because I'll lose it a little bit. So let me get back on track here. So after our wedding, we're in the 2016 area. You know, the band was playing shows. We were going back at it. You know what I'm saying? We were recording this record, and we were doing all this, and I'm in those pitfalls, and I'm being that again. And you know, I'm having a hard time finding regular work because we're interspersed on the road, off the road. We're playing some cool shows. We played with Theory of a Dead Man in Florida and the East Coast, and in Louisiana, and some in Texas. And then you know, so we're doing all that stuff. We put out the record. And dude, the whole thing is just chaos. The thing about Jive was, it was just chaos. And it, you know, some of it was beautiful, but the ugliest parts of it were so ugly that it's disgusting to look at for me. But you know, I'll get into that in some other thing, maybe in my book or on the podcast that I'm starting with some buddies of mine. We're probably going to talk a lot about music industry type stuff. But so we're moving into 2017 area, and I'm probably going to stop this video right now just because 2017 to the end of 2019 is the very last chapter of the part of the book where I was drinking, and at the end, and so I'm going to get into that story on the next video. But listen, guys, again, thank you so much for being here with me on this road to recovery. I look forward to this every day. It's now that I'm doing this, it's like I just want to do it better. You know, so I wake up every day pretty excited getting to do this and getting to share this time with you. And I'm really appreciative of you if you're sticking this out with me and checking out these videos. So look, happy Friday again. I hope you all have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend. And I'll probably see you again on Monday, all right? Thanks. Later.